To me, enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us, bring us down, bring us down. Enough is enough. You won't bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us. Bring us down. Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to Queen of the Indies Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the Queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And today we have our three-time champion, Michael Oku. Welcome.
It's me. Welcome. How you doing, Tiffany?
Thank you for coming on here. I appreciate that you're here. So, guys, if you're new here to the Under the Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, backstage, referees. I got you covered. If you guys got questions for Michael, please feel free. Drop it into the chat. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. So, all right. So we're going to start off with this because Andy Coulden came on the podcast the other day and he actually got into the story how when you first started out at Rev Pro, and then he said that he couldn't believe how you made a 3-minute match happen, that he was so impressed with your attitude and how you conducted yourself, and now you're the main staple at Rev Pro. So I wanted you to share your side of the beginning of you working Rev Pro.
So I started training in 2017, and that was with the Progress Wrestling had their own training school, and that's kind of where I got started. So really the first kind of goal was to try and use that system to then be a regular for Progress Wrestling. But I was aware I'm an indie wrestler and I'm trying to wrestle anywhere and everywhere. And I was fortunate enough after a few months to have my first wrestling match, and it was for Progress. And Progress being held at such a high regard as the almighty in British wrestling, I thought, well, I've wrestled for Progress, therefore everybody will want me. And there was a lot of bookings that I got off the back of having one match. Oh, my fan just went flying, but don't worry. There was a lot of bookings that I got just off the back of having that Progress Wrestling, the one Progress Wrestling match. But the one place that I knew I wanted to go was Rev Pro, because they were bringing in so much talent, not only just in the UK, but from around the world, from Japan, from the American Indies, which was that's at the time that it's on fire. The Indies in general are on fire, and that's when WWE are plucking people from the American Indies as well as the British Indies, slowly but surely. So I wanted to be in Rev Pro as well, and I would just be crewing shows, asking, I obviously wanted to eventually wrestle there. And in hindsight, I'm glad that I didn't as early as I wanted to, because I wouldn't have been ready. But I was doing it with the mindset of, well, at least, even if I don't get booked tomorrow, I'm at least watching some of these world-class wrestlers, and I'll be able to ask them questions and try and learn off them firsthand. And I'd be taking tickets. I'd be putting up the ring. I would do literally anything and everything. And luckily, I had Curtis Chapman in my corner to hound. I say luckily, but he was hounding Andy, which I think made him put a delay on using me, because just my friend is just telling him, hey, you got to book him, because Not because I'm in Fred, but he did believe in me. But as soon as you say, "Hey, listen, my friend, you should use him," I think a lot of promoters will be like, "Oh, really? Are they really good?" And like, I know, I promise they're good. So he was always hesitant on using me until one fateful day. He's doing these TV tapings. He's about to start doing TV tapings. He got like a deal where there was I think about 8 episodes of Rev Pro on television, which I think is like it's a little Easter egg of a gold mine if people can find it and watch those shows. They were really cool. They were all at York Hall, Bethnal Green, and he needed people to help set up, put things up, and this was like on a weekday. So I want to say it was like a Tuesday. He wanted people to set up the ring the day before, so there weren't a lot of people available on a weekday. I helped set up everything and helped set up York Hall, and then he asked me at some point during that setup, "Are you actually good?" I'm like, yes. I was like, yes, I am. Okay, well, I need you to wrestle the Great Okan. You'll be wrestling Great Okan tomorrow. I need you to wear, if you got like plain gear, wear the plainest gear you've got. I've got black trunks. It's got a logo in it. So that'll be fine. You'll have an entrance, but it won't show up on TV. Like all of this. And I'm like, cool, great. And he told me the idea is like Great Okan on their TV show will be built as this absolute undefeated monster. So he needed a body. And I say, I will be the best body that you can find. And the match, I don't even think the match was 2 minutes. I genuinely, I would like to time it. I don't even think it reached 2 minutes, but wow. I was just told what my role was. And my goal was to make sure that I did the best job doing that and nothing else. Not trying to see, maybe I can do a little bit more of what's not asked for me and maybe that will help me. No, I was putting my ego at the door, leaving it at the door. Having this match, I think I got to throw some drop kicks that Great Okan didn't bump, and then I just got beat up. And he was so impressed with how good of a job I did that he thought that's enough to give this guy some more opportunities. So you want to talk about starting from the actual bottom. A lot of people get brought in and they wrestle like champions in their debuts, or they get put in main events. And I'm there in an enhancement match with no entrance, and I had to make the most of it. And it's crazy to think that debut in 2018 has led to where I am and where we are now.
Wow. Can you believe it? 14 years anniversary next week. How crazy is this?
Right. Yeah. The fact that, again, now it's nearly 8 years I've been wrestling for Rev Pro. And so I've kind of been there over half its existence. It's wild.
So wild. I'm so excited for this. I see people into the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button so we get some more people in here. Zach's in here. He says, good morning, Tiffany and Michael. It's National Bacon Lovers Day. Did you have your bacon today?
I had loads of oats. I had loads of oats today, and in the middle of slow cooking some bolognese.
There you go.
And maybe I could throw some bacon in that bolognese. That would make it actually extra salty. So
that sounds good though.
I'll work on it.
We'll work on it. We'll get some. I haven't had my bacon either today. Kylie's in the chat. He goes, can we expect more single matches with Oku and Ricochet?
This dude, I know exactly who this dude is. He loves Ricochet.
He loves
And you know what I mean? Like, he's so greedy because he would hound on everyone being like, you need to wrestle Ricochet. Ricochet will wrestle you. I find I've had I've had 3 6-man tag matches where I'm wrestling Ricochet, and I've had a singles match against Ricochet. And he's like, how about do it again? I was like, what do you want? I mean, I'll of course wrestle Ricochet any day of the week. He's one of the best in the world. But I've done it.
We need some different stuff though. Like, that's his boy though. You know.
But like, I appreciate it.
There you go. I love that. So, let's do this. Let's talk about this because again, obviously, like I feel like you're the GOAT. You know, when it comes to wrestling now. And I told you this off stream that I was in shock when I was so excited to have you on. when I told a couple of people, they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Oh God, you're killing me." So I feel like we should talk about this. And I know you've probably talked so much about it, but let's talk about it for the fans that maybe aren't as familiar with you. And of course, like people
Who are these fans? Who are they? Who are they? Who are their favorite wrestlers? Let me know. Let me know. Understand their taste.
I'm gonna slide the names in your DMs later.
Okay. Yeah.
You can
All right.
go
Let's
after
know-
them. But like, excuse me.
That's
Like rude. But let's talk about your match
Right.
with Will Ospreay. So this came up also too, obviously, and Andy went through this as well on Monday. But let's talk about it through your experience.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, so there's a trilogy of singles
Yeah.
matches that we ended up having. The first one was in Southampton, which I kind of call the prequel because a lot of people talk about the two that happened after that more than this one. And Andy told me the reason why he wanted to do this match was, so this is the tail end of 2021. At the time, I'm the cruiserweight champion. He's the heavyweight champion. He's also the IWGP heavyweight champion, I'm pretty sure. He probably has another belt. He's got a lot of belts at this time. And Andy explained to me that, look, the trajectory that Will is on, I don't know when this match will be able to happen, or if this match will be able to happen ever again, really, anytime soon. He might be gone because he's Will Ospreay. So I just want to do this match wherever, whenever. And the time that made the most sense was Southampton. And the match kind of like, again, I think, Andy's booking so many shows. He's booking way more shows now, but at the time he was still booking a lot of shows. And the match went so well that he thought, well, this is a good main event for a York Hall show, for a big York Hall show. So we built towards doing a rematch at York Hall, Bethnal Green. And there were so many things that helped that match get a lot of praise and a lot of attention. And what's funny, I think, that a lot of people don't talk about the York Hall match in terms of why people were buzzing about it. Again, at the time, Rev Pro wasn't streaming live. So all the word of mouth about that match was from in the building. If you were in the building, you're the one buzzing about that match as soon as it's happening, once it's done, when you're on the way home. On the same night of that York Hall match, which we're talking January 2022, it's the same night as the Royal Rumble. And people were not very enamored with that year's Royal Rumble. And it made people talk more about the match that myself and Will had. They're like, well, I'm so glad that I went to Bethnal Green and York Hall and watched this match. And it just created even more buzz because while they're watching the Royal Rumble, they're like, oh man, all I can do is think about this match that happened with Michael Oku and Will Ospreay. So much so that then Big Dave was like, where can I see this match? And then I'm like, hey, Andy, maybe you should put this match on video on demand as soon as possible, like yesterday. So he then frantically scrambled to make sure the show was fully edited so that it can go up. So everybody who is hearing all this bud can be like, all right, let's see this match.
Yeah.
And I think it impressed pretty much everybody that watched it and kind of blew people's minds and opened people's eyes to who I was. Again, this is, they'll all know who Will Ospreay is. But they're hearing he's having this match with this guy and everybody's talking about it being their match of the year candidate. Weeks after he just main evented the Tokyo Dome wrestling Okada. So it really started a spiral of huge things happening. I'm getting invited to WrestleMania weekends. I'm going up and down the US just like for a few bits here and there when I can squeeze it in the Rev Pro schedule. And fast forward so much things that we can get into, but we do the rematch at Crystal Palace 2024. And the amount of excitement people had for that match was so much so that, A, it was going to be streaming live this time. B, it was Will Ospreay's final indie match. As he said it, this is my final time wrestling on the indies. And I think it was so exciting. I got word that Tony Khan wanted to come and see the match. So he was also buzzing from this rematch being so anticipated, which obviously the wave of expectations was horrendous. I think it was more nerve-wracking that match than the one in 2022 because there is that weight of expectations. Oh, they had this amazing match, so no pressure. You can try and top that. And in my opinion, I feel like we did. I do feel like we were able to top it, which was I said, as long as we equal it, that'll be great. But I feel like we did top it in terms of quality, and it was the best send-off for Will. And again, I think it helped put even more eyes on me and get even more attention that like people around the world wanted me to wrestle for them, and started multiple tours with Mexico for one. I've done a couple of tours there, and I've gone to Costa Rica. I mean, what are we doing? Goodness me. So yeah, those matches were huge, like really beneficial in terms of making me stand out and getting my name out there into the wider professional wrestling world.
I love that. I love that. And I love, like, and this is why I like doing these interviews, because you guys are, we're just regular people. You guys are regular people. And that's got to be, like, nerve-wracking, too. Like you said, that it was, like, a lot of no pressure, like, so.
100%. Oh, my gosh. Like, jeez.
So,
I remember I wanted to get, like, new gear. So I got a new jacket for it. And it was, like, the white jacket that I've been wearing for, like, a couple of years until changing it recently. I got that made just in time. And then I had some gear that I wanted to make that was like silver and gold, and the gear maker just never responded to me. And I thought they were making it, but they were just being silent. They're like, oh, I haven't started. And I had to message the guy who hadn't made gear for me in like a good few years. I was like, listen, my friend, I am begging you.
Yeah.
I am begging you. You've got to try and help me if you can. And he made this gear. Like, I'm talking trunks, knee pads, and kick pads. He made it in 5 days, which felt like a record. Like, normally it takes like weeks, sometimes a few months people make it, but he made it in 5 days. And the only thing that he didn't get it wrong, it was my mistake. I measured my I measured like my knee wrong. And so in the last few moments of that match, again, we went 47 minutes, but in the last few moments of that match, I couldn't feel my leg. I couldn't feel my left leg, because I put like an extra bit of knee pad, like a knee pad cover, or like an extra knee pad sleeve underneath it. So I hadn't measured it like that. So in the last few moments of the match, I can't feel my left leg, and I'm just going off adrenaline. And once the match is done, if people watch it back, I'm limping because I just have no feeling in my leg. So yeah, nearly a disaster, but that's what you do.
The sacrifices you guys to entertain us, right?
Am I right? Just 'cause I wanted
That's so
fancy
funny. I see Wrestling Junkies in the podcast that's going on. Thank you for joining us in. So, all right. So we're gearing up to 14th anniversary show. 3 times champion, as we're saying. I had Jay Joshua on a couple of months ago. Clearly, you beat him. And me and Andy had talked about the other day that you and Connor Mills has been this long time feud. Like, if you're like a new fan, like even like me, like I'm still like new into Rev Pro, but that he started going into complete details about how you guys have been feuding for years, and we're getting to this point at one of the biggest nights of the year. So talk to us a little bit about that.
I mean, Mills's first match in Rev Pro was against me, once again in Southampton. Like, every big match I've had, the first time I've wrestled that person seems to be Southampton. I wrestled Luke Jacobs. We've wrestled first in Southampton. Mills's debut in 2020, which again was essentially on a request from myself. I was like, this guy's good. He's one of my closest friends in wrestling. I'm telling Andy, this is your kind of guy. I remember in 2017 when I was crewing shows and hadn't even debuted for Rev Pro, I would be helping out at the big Global War shows where they'd bring in an entire roster of New Japan talent. I remember handling the meet and greet for Rocky Romero. And I kind of had the understanding at that point that Rocky might have been been the liaison for getting people booked elsewhere from like foreign countries into New Japan. And I'm not even a year into wrestling. I've not debuted for Rev Pro. Mills has not debuted for Rev Pro. And I'm sitting down telling Rocky Romero, you got to book this Connor Mills you got to bring him to New Japan. He'd be perfect for New Japan Pro Wrestling. This kid, at the time, he might be like 17 years old or maybe like 19 years old. And I'm thinking, this kid, I'm telling you, he's the man. He's the best. And that same thought is what I had for Revolution Pro Wrestling. I thought I'd be a perfect fit for there. And Andy wasn't sold on him fully. And then he said, okay, well, I'll give him a shot and he's going to wrestle you. Let him show me what he's got in the ring with you. And it was, you know, from that match that everything started, because we had the match, which I won. And then he kicks me in the back of the head to end the show. And he started again. We talk about like how people have different debuts and how my debut is from the bottom. His debut was in the main event of a Rev Pro show against the cruiserweight champion at the time, being me. And then the lasting moment of that show is him kicking me in the head and leaving me knocked out. So we go from 2020, pre-pandemic. We are talking 6 years ago, which is disgusting that the pandemic was 6 years ago.
I know.
To, you know, kind of rekindling things in the pandemic, rekindling our friendship in the pandemic, and then becoming a tag team. And we're then a tag team for 2 years as Destination Everywhere. And honestly, having some of the best matches that I've ever had, full stop, let alone some like highlight tag matches in the history of Rev Pro. And what's funny is I really feel like, because we'd also tag in other promotions, and I really feel there was a point, maybe just before August. I think so. August is when he turned on me in 2022. And I feel like the month before, I was like, I think we finally nailed tag team wrestling. Like before then, we were still just like unsure. We're still like experimenting with different things and chopping and changing. And then when it got to like July of 2022, I was like, I think we figured this out. I think we've mastered tag team wrestling, or us as a tag team. Mm-hmm. And then August, he turns on me, and it starts this blood feud, because there has been blood that has spanned now. Here we are in 2026, coming to main events. We've done main events of many shows. Main event at Porchester Hall in an unsanctioned match. We wrestled in Cardiff. We've wrestled at York Hall in the semi-main. And it's somehow all our roads, even when there was a period of time where there was like about 2 years where we didn't wrestle each other, we never touched, we found our way back together again. And here we are in the main event of Wembley Arena for the Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship.
So crazy. So is it still like a little nerve-wracking for you that it's like, all right, here's this big show, you know, you guys are wrestling each other again? Is there still any worries? It
is very helpful that I've had the experience of these big matches, mm-hmm. especially in main events, especially in front of a lot of people. For me, I try and trick myself into being as calm as possible. I try and be as calm as possible when I'm backstage. No matter where I am, the nerves kind of pick up mm-hmm. only right before I know my music's gonna hit. Mm-hmm. When I know that if I'm like second out, once my opponent's in the ring, that's when it's hitting me, and I know that their music's gonna fade and my one's gonna hit. That's when I kind of feel a bit of nerves, just a slight moment where that's the case, and then mm-hmm. I walk through and then it all goes away. But of course, again, we mentioned that phrase, weight of expectations. Mm-hmm. That does for sure bring a pressure. I can't guarantee I'm gonna guarantee I'm gonna have the best match ever. There's no guarantees of that. All I know is that I can do my very best if that's the case. And I think knowing that I've been able to do it in the past mm-hmm. is a huge help.
Love that. Definitely love that. I'm going to like flop all over the place because there was a bunch of fan questions. So I'm going to mix them into some of my questions. So I'm going to go from fan questions to some of my questions, the fan questions. And again, you guys are welcome in the chat to drop some stuff too. So this one, it was kind of like a twofold because two fans were kind of going through the same thing. So Everything Pro Wrestling, shout out to him. His question, and we'll go into Shaw's question. So he says, how did the power couple of Rev Pro happen?
How did it happen? I mean, is he asking like, how did we start dating? I think that's the thing. So myself and Amira, well, she moved to London nearly immediately after the pandemic. She already had plans to. She was already training in Ireland, but this is her words, is that she felt like to find like success or to get busy, to really get the reps in, she needed to move to the UK because there are just a lot of promotions mm-hmm. where if you try hard enough, you can be busy wrestling week in, week out. Mm-hmm. So she saw that as the way for her to like really progress her career. We kind of met and were talking during the pandemic, and then we were dating before she made the move to London and to the UK. But in terms of her becoming my valet on Rev Pro, what was funny is, and I don't even know if fans were there in attendance, they would for sure remember. But she'd be coming to shows, you know, if she's not booked on shows, she'd be coming to my shows, and you know, vice versa for myself. But she would be coming to a lot of Revolution Pro Wrestling shows. And what that would do is she'd be watching, and she's so passionate about wrestling, and she's such a fiery personality that, 1 second, I'm just gonna, so
Yeah,
this, I
you're
don't know
good.
what's gonna happen. There's a cat flapping where we live.
We love
And,
animals. We welcome them on the podcast all the time.
Yeah, and we thought, oh man, because we've moved into a place with a cat flap, there's a chance that maybe we'll get a cat one day. And then we said, or maybe we could just leave the cat flap open and see if we can kidnap a cat. So for the last, I want to say, few weeks, at least once a day, the same cat pops in through the flap, just looks around. We've now actually got cat food for it, has a bit of cat food, then hangs out, then leaves.
Oh.
So the cat just came in again.
It's looking for food.
Amira calls it cozy. I don't know why. She calls
Cozy.
it cozy.
I
But
love
it's
that.
a lovely man. Speaking of her, so if I'm wrestling at these shows, she's probably like standing by merch, or she's standing maybe near the announcer's desk, just kind of out of the way, but she's visible, and she's getting into the matches, and she's out loud saying, "Come on, Michael, come on, get up, get up." She's fully into the matches, but the thing is, people know who she is,
Yeah.
and she is a wrestler. So when she's being just as loud as the fans are kind of turning and looking at her and looking away from the ring and looking at the match. And I think that was the reason why Andy thought it might be a good idea, actually, if she just manages you. Because instead of her being like far away, making these noises and egging you on and cheering you on, how about she's just right there at the apron doing the same thing? Because if that is her natural reaction, that's perfect for exactly what a manager should be doing. So we initially, I mean, the first time we were linked together on camera was the Will Ospreay match at York Hall, where Will Ospreay, he pulled her across the barricade and tried to just pull her by the hair across the barricade, and then I attacked him and just beat the hell out of him, and it was a huge moment in that match. But then when I had my match with Luke Jacobs for the Cruiserweight title, she managed me. And then later on that year, when I had a match with Mills, which I thought was going to be the blow-off the last time we'd wrestle each other, she was my manager there. But then from that match onwards, she was always there and was always my manager. So that's kind of how it worked. And it's such an interesting thing how we were nearly, the both of us, we would admit that we were kind of kicking and screaming about actually wanting to be paired together, because we just, you know, we wanted to have our own wrestling careers. We wanted to kind of, we thought, oh, we have our own journeys, and let's kind of, you know, we'll support each other, but we have our own separate dreams of what we wanted. And then when we stopped resisting and actually saw what we had and saw that what we were doing was working, we thought, well, actually, if we then properly invest in what we're doing and really actually try to make this work, there could be something special here. And we've realized that it's helped us stand out. She 100% enhances my presentation, my act, my matches. So I think we ended up landing on something that we would have never predicted we would have been doing when we started our wrestling journey separately, but now we couldn't envision it any other way.
Oh, I love that. That's such a beautiful story. Like, it's so great. So thank you, Conrad, for sending in that question as well. So I feel like me and Amira could be little besties. I'm all about the glitter and the rhinestones, and like probably can't see it like that well on the camera, but I would completely glittered and rhinestones and gold and all that fun stuff today for this podcast. But it was funny because I was talking to a fan, and they were saying, because we were talking about like gold and sparkles and all that stuff, so they had asked, they were like, oh, when is Michael gonna start adding a whole bunch of rhinestones and stuff to his gear?
So again, this is the cat that is not my cat.
Hello,
I
kitty.
just want you to confirm. I need to confirm this. I have kidnapped this cat, and that has just gone past. But yes, she's just hanging out on the chair. But when am I adding rhinestones and
Yes.
stuff to my gear?
Yes.
Listen, I like shiny. I do like shiny. I'm 100% a proponent of the shiny the better when it comes to especially wrestling gear.
Yeah.
I only just worry about if I have stones and stuff, like if it will become. I mean, listen, if it's my opponent's problem, not mine. If it becomes like too in the way when it comes to jackets or like my trunks or my pants. But listen, I'm open to it. I think I'm trying to actually think. I've had glittery gear.
Uh-huh.
I've definitely had glittery gear.
Uh-huh.
So
So
I'm gonna have some. Well, maybe rhinestones will be coming soon. But what I will say is that I do have some extra shiny gear on the way that will make its presence known at some point in the future.
I love that. I see people in the chat. I see you. Fate's in the chat. She says, good morning. Sad says, Destination Everywhere versus Aussie Open at high stakes 2021 is one of my favorite Rev Pro matches.
No, and I appreciate him saying that because that was that was Mills's York Hall debut. If you talk about York Hall Bethnal Green, it is such a hallowed ground for British professional wrestling. It's actually a very iconic boxing venue. There's a lot of iconic boxing fights that have happened for decades in that building. And then with Rev Pro and the promotions that ran there before it, there's been really cool shows and cool moments there. So that's a goal for a lot of British wrestlers, York Hall, Bethnal Green, and a lot of American wrestlers. I know that MJF was excited when I wrestled him a couple of years ago to return to York Hall, Bethnal Green. We had that match with Aussie Open, and we were in the infancy of our tag team career. And Aussie Open have had years upon years at this point of being seen as one of the top tag teams in the world. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and we both said to each other, we both spoke to each other about this. I remember Mills and myself coming back through the curtain when the match was done. And this is how imposter syndrome can be a bitch. The match ended. Yes, we lost the titles. The fans are like on their feet, standing ovation. Mm-hmm. And we come back through the curtain and we're not sure if the match was good. We don't know if the fans liked it. We don't know if the Aussies liked it. Mm-hmm. And that was like a sign of how unsure we were of tag team wrestling, of ourselves in these positions. And it was only until we actually listened to people and actually said, was it good? And they're like, yeah. And that match might be like the best tag team match he and I have ever had. And it's free on YouTube on the Rev Pro channel. They put that on like years ago, and it's a cool one to watch. But then we are fortunate enough where we had a couple more tag matches with Aussie Open since then. Again, that match was for the Rev Pro tag titles as well as the Australian PWA tag titles. So it was winner take all. And then we had the Great British Tag League match. And then we had a match for the New Japan Strong titles when they were the champs. So it's cool that we got to be in the ring with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. And we've learned so much from them. I could speak for Mills for sure when I say that we learned so much from being in the ring with them. And, you know, it's a thing that I'd love to do again in terms of being in the ring with, well, either two of them.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Let me feed off the question from Shah. I know like you kind of answered a little bit, but maybe you want to elaborate a little more how he put this. He goes, I wanted to know what's it like for him and his wife as his valet manager, how she's been able to be there for him at ringside just before his music plays and after all his wins and losses.
I think, again, she'd be better telling you herself about how terrified she is to watch me wrestle up close, considering the things that happen to me in the ring a lot of the time. If you see a match of mine, I am probably falling high on my neck or high up something. There are some big bumps in a Michael Oku match more often than not. And so for her to be the person that cares about me the most, seeing that up close and wondering, is he going to move? And I do every time, but it probably takes a toll on her mentally having to be up close and seeing these things.
Yeah.
When it comes to, you know, again, you think about like what a wrestling manager is supposed to do, and that's kind of what she does, I guess, for me out away from the ring as well as in the ring, if that makes sense. You know, they're supposed to support you, and for her being my support system in life and in the ring, it just makes, I think it's what makes what we do in the ring work so well, because of the legitimacy that comes with what we do.
Love that. Shah just popped into the chat. He goes, I'm almost home. Please tell me you have plenty of time left. And he's sending. We're having a good time. I still got a whole bunch of questions for him. Clowns in the chat says, good morning. Shah also says, Amira takes some crazy stuff too. Guaranteed to see Michael landing on his neck every match.
Yeah, it's definitely bad that is an expectation. I put my hands up and say, expecting me to land on my neck is, I realize is not the key to longevity.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll alter that in the future as old age starts creeping in.
All right, so it'll be a crime if I don't bring this up onto the podcast, because I think because I live here in New York, and he's been on this podcast before, and if I don't bring up this match with you and Charles Mason at House of Glory, I think I'm gonna get some nasty DMs later. So I remember staying up because this was Vegas, which was awesome. So it's funny because I'm 10 minutes from House of Glory, like where I live. So it's pretty funny. And I was like, figures. I was like that this is in Vegas. And even Joe Lando was writing. He goes, you have to come to Vegas. You have to come to Vegas. And I was like, I wish I could come to Vegas. I was like, but I'm going to watch it. So I remember watching it in my bedroom, and it's like late since it's like 3 hours behind us. So, but I stayed up because I was like, I have to watch this match. And this match was amazing. We love Charles Mason, and I've been supporting Charles Mason since like his debut at House of Glory. So like to see this match and how good it was. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, Charles Mason is a weirdo. That much is true. Compared to last year's Mania weekend, which was in Vegas, I had a lot less matches. I think at one point, so that whole week last year, I think I might have had 8 matches in America in total, or like that week in total, because I also did Ring of Honor the day before in Boston. Then I did like 6 matches in Vegas. Then I went back to the UK to wrestle Leon Slater in Doncaster for Rev Pro. So this time I was like, I'm very much happy if I do a lot less. And at one point, I think I was only booked to do, I think it might have been House of Glory. And I was like, I'm fine with that, if that's okay. But naturally, once people knew that I was in Vegas or on my way to Vegas, then the MLP came along, WrestleCon came along, Progress came along. So, you know, it filled up with about 4 versus the 8 that I had the year prior. And I would say that the match I had with Charles Mason was my favorite match that I had that week, and there was a lot of cool ones, but that would probably be number 1, especially because I love when I go to a venue or to a show and people don't know who I am. And when I came out through the curtain and the entrance, and I always love doing like getting the gauge of the crowd from that moment, and that gives me an indication of what I need to do, how I need to work. I was like, okay, and it's probably just because like it was packed in that venue. AEW just ran that exact same venue like last week, but it was packed primarily because I mean the Hardy Boys were there, and the Hardy Boys were in the main event, and they're there to see the Hardy Boys, and they know of some people, but they don't know us as much. They didn't know Charles Mason as much as you know they would in New York. So I was like, okay, that excites me. That when that happens, that excites me. And I knew, I was like, all right, okay, we'll show you. And I think we did. I think we did a slow burn of getting them into the match, and once they were in it, they were living and dying by the near falls and the false finishes. And there was a point for sure where they were convinced they were going to see a new champ, and that's half the battle, in my opinion. And so, yeah, because we were able to do that, and of course, Amira being involved the way she was, I think I made a lot of new fans, and they were House of Glory fans, but I made a lot of new fans in Vegas, which is the goal every time I could try and go and do those trips. So, yeah, definitely a highlight that I've had this year, 100%.
So fun. If you guys didn't watch that match, go watch that match. So, since you come here to the States, and like I talk about this with everybody from UK over here. So I think Jay Joshua's his reaction was fun. We started talking about the food because he came to New York a couple of months ago, not for wrestling, just to come on vacation. And and everybody loves to talk about food on this podcast. What's like your favorite thing to have here in the States?
Oh my God, I'm on the spot now. So there really is a thing, and this is me being fair as well, because I've heard Americans say this when they come over here to the UK. There's a thing about the food tasting healthier in the UK than the US, and so they're just like, oh my God, it just feels like there's less stuff in it. And I'm like, yeah, there probably is, but because of that, you could argue that some of the food here tastes a little bit more bland than it does in America. Just for a quick example, do you know what I love? Because most of the time, the thing I'm eating the most in America, because it's wrestling, but is a hotel breakfast. And the one thing that, in my opinion, you guys have, first of all, I love the bacon in America better than I love the bacon. So National Bacon Day, I love the bacon more. You guys make it so crispy, and that's just my preference. It's super duper crispy, and I love that. But also then the hash browns, the way you see it in I don't even know, it's all sliced up in little bits, but all put together. Yeah. You see it a lot in like a Denny's. That's my kind of thing. But for me, you guys don't care about sugar. So I love all of the sugary treats. Anything sugary treats, a Cinnabon is insane. So if I go to get any kind of dessert in America, I'm jumping for joy over the moon. In terms of cuisine, I think this is why I like Texas out of probably most of the states in America, because they're so close to Mexico, and I love Mexican.
Oh, you went mute. Nope. Or is it me? Yeah. It died. They put you on timeout. They're like, nope, you can't talk about that. The technical stuff there, I think we've picked up.
Yeah. I'm it's right now probably on the microphone of my buds. Can you believe this? Run-ins from cats. The fan fell over.
We have a good time. Don't worry.
It's live, pal. It's live.
We're live, pal. Don't worry about it. That's the thing about
That's what happens.
It happens, but we're having a good time. So go ahead. You were talking about the Mexican food, the cuisine.
So I was saying Tex-Mex.
Oh, Tex-Mex.
Is
okay.
What it's all about. Yeah. I was like, you know what? That's what it's all about, because I really love Mexican food. So the mixture of like Mexican cuisine versus like good Texan barbecue stuff. Oh, delicioso.
You guys writing notes so you can bring him some stuff when you see him? I got you.
Yeah, honestly.
I got you. Bring him some stuff. Bring him some sugar. Bring him some Tex-Mex. Yeah,
sugar. Yeah, so I have a friend who trains with me and is from Texas, and he said, do you want anything from? I'm coming. You want anything brought back when I go to Texas?
Yeah.
And he knows the assignment. He brought like snacks from Buc-ee's.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, perfect. I was like, that's exactly what I need. The most like birthday cake, popcorn, all this stuff. Yeah, go crazy with it. Make me feel disgusting about myself when I'm done.
I just had Buc-ee's for the first time, and I'm like, my friend Jack brought me like the little cart or whatever, the basket, and I go, no, I don't need that. I'm not getting a lot of stuff. Within like 3 minutes, I had to go get a basket.
You'll see. Yeah, that's it.
I'm like, shit.
I don't think I've been to Buc-ee's. I know Amira's been to Buc-ee's, but just the idea of it is insane.
It's
the
overwhelming.
The idea of what it is insane, and I think I'd also be overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. I was like, oh my God, what is this place? I was like, but just kept putting stuff in my basket, and it was like, oh, okay, whatever. You have to buy this. You have to buy this. You have to buy this. So, if you book him, make sure you take him to a Buc-ee's so he could lose his mind a
To a
little bit.
Buc-ee's, I guess so.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's it. That's my favorite cuisine, Buc-ee's.
All right, let's see into the chat. I see you guys. So, Sad says the chair neck bump Oku took in his lights out match with Mills this year was completely terrifying.
Yeah, I think as recently as like last week, people have mentioned that to me. Like, and it's from around the world. So like, there'll be a wrestler who came from Australia and be like, I think I saw you fall on your head on an open chair, and I was like, yeah, that's me. That was me. And and I've heard people say, oh man, you were the talk of our wrestling school when that happened, and because. So I think Mills posted it on his Instagram, and at the moment it's like got like 1.2 million views. And listen, I'm alive. Side note, I also won the match. I kicked out and I won. But like for that to get 1.2 million views, if people are looking at it and people are talking about it, then in turn, you can make an argument that maybe it's getting a little bit of interest from me landing on my head from a tape on a chair at an unsanctioned match to Wembley Arena, to selling a couple tickets for Wembley Arena, which I guess is the goal at the end of it. If it gets people talking, then it's not the worst thing in the world. And oh my God, I've had so much fun reading the comments on that video of people who obviously have decided that they know everything about wrestling, saying exactly what's wrong about what happened and saying about how much I must have been paid. The hot dog, all that for a hot dog. It's incredible. And I've very much been thoroughly entertained by every single comment that's been on that.
Oh, geez. That's terrible, though. God.
Yeah.
Hot dog,
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I can't.
What's funny is that venue does do hot dogs, which, I should have, what I should have done is bought a hot dog and then take a photo of me eating the hot dog and shaking Andy Quilden's hand. And I would have literally got a hot dog and a handshake.
Oh, no.
That would have been the way.
I guess. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that would have been the thing. Which, listen, Portchester Hall, they've got great food. They've got chips, they've got pizza, they've got hot dogs. The glizzies, as the kids call it. And they got good drinks. They got good beer for once you've had a crazy match and you just want to deal with the pain.
If I don't ask you this, then I'm going to get crucified in the chat. And I know like Good Cop, Bad Cop's probably working right now. But when he listens back to this, he's going to be like, you had an opportunity and you didn't ask this. So we have to ask, what do you like on your hot dog? The important questions.
So I like ketchup and mustard. I put more ketchup than mustard. So it's like a very light line of mustard, but like a big dollop of ketchup. And then if there are toppings on it, like I do sprinkle some. If they're available, my choice would be crispy onions.
Okay.
And then
I
that's
like that too. Yeah.
Let's just keep it simple. And then there we go.
There you
Glizzy
go.
it up.
There you go. I see more stuff.
When's hot dog day? I feel like that's going to be like a thing coming up.
I'm sure it probably happened on this podcast before. I feel like it has, so it probably passed. So let me know when hot dog day is. I'm dead. Five Nerds in the chat says, what was Amira's reaction afterwards to the bump at Forbidden Door?
I mean, you can hear a reaction live as it happens. You just hear the absolute screaming of someone thinking that they've witnessed the death of a loved one, which I don't blame her. Afterwards she was just mortified. She was just mortified and just making sure that I was okay. Again, so there's a thing that happens after most most London, at least think AEW shows, called Sweet Chin Disco, where normally it's hosted by like Mark Henry and he'll DJ. I think this year it's being DJed by Mercedes Moné, which is wild. People forget, people are unaware. They see that what happened at Forbidden Door. They don't realize that I was on the stage later on that night dancing my ass off. At Sweet Chin Disco. I was fine. I was dancing with Swerve, dancing with Prince Nana. It was, So I'm not saying I was 100. This is not me also now lying and saying I was 100% fine, nothing hurt. Of course I was. I fell on my head from a high height after being pounced. It was not fun, but it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I was good to go. I wrestled in Arena Mexico 2 days later. You know, it was, I was on the mend. It's just one of those. My favorite thing about that was, again, when you're on a show like that, there's going to be people watching you wrestle for the first time. So they see that and everybody's mortified, being like, oh my God, he must be dead, all of that. And then fans of mine were like saying that is an average Michael Oku bump, which again, it's a funny thing to say. They're like, they'll be like, whatever, well, he's fine, he'll get up, no problem. We know him, he's our guy, he's fine, he's all right with it. But also I'm like, yeah, that reputation is a wild one to have, but
Yeah.
here I am.
They said that Hot Dog Day is July 15th, so it did pass.
Oh, we did, but not that long ago. The fact that that's not that long ago. It's like just 4 weeks ago.
I told you. I knew it was one of my podcast days because I'm pretty sure we had talked about that. Oh, whatever. Let's see what else in the chat. Fate says Hot Dog Day was July 15th, and now I have to try hot dogs and crispy onions. So, see?
Yeah, you go.
Starting a trend. Gonna name a hot dog
100%.
after you now.
Goodness me. Wow.
Got to come to New York. You got to do the Gray's Papaya, or if you go to Coney Island at like the Nathan's, but like, listen, I'm Michael Oku. Name a hot dog after me.
I mean, that's what I should do. That's
Right?
what I should do. I've been to New York a few times, and I don't think I actually had a hot dog in New York, which is. I've had a pizza in New York. I had a pizza in New
Okay.
York, but I didn't have a
You
hot
get a
dog
half
in New York,
pass.
so that's yeah, okay.
You get a half
See?
pass because he had pizza. But how do you not have a hot dog? Like,
I don't know. It's easy. I was having breakfast.
I love that. I love that. All right, let's do some of these fan tweets. We had a whole bunch of fan tweets. Okay, so this one's from Matt. He says, who has been your favorite person to wrestle with?
Goodness me. I'm trying to think of like besides the obvious, because I can say Will. Luke Jacobs is someone that I would always think of as someone who I don't think we've ever had a bad match anytime we have a singles match. I want to shout out Pac and how the singles match I had with him in 2 years into my wrestling career, in my wrestling training, was one that put me on the map on the British scene of like, oh, this guy might be someone that could, we need to actually look out for. When I learned so much from him at such an early point in my career, and he just took me to another level by being there in the ring with him. And he really, without saying it, just through wrestling with him, made me learn so much about pacing and how you can pace yourself in a match. So that's always been a highlight, like to think about the matches. I had 2 singles matches with Pac, and to be able to say I've done that is cool. And again, we're going to see him again next week, which is great. But those are the 3 that are like immediately in my head. Obviously, Leon Slater. There's too many. Like, we can talk about all of them, but there's a lot.
Definitely. It was funny. Who was it? Somebody tweeted at me. They're like, did Tiffany forgive Michael for beating her boy Joe Lando?
That's a great question. And I ran the CPF gauntlet this year. I think I wrestled and beat all of them.
Yeah.
In the space of a year.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little stat. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I want to know if anyone else has done that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I did. I watched all those back to back to back. So, let's see. Matt's in the chat. He says, good afternoon, everybody. Shaw says, this is the second of 3 Michael Oku interviews I'm watching today. Watch this. This is a Revolution one earlier, and it felt like it was in a lecture. I loved it. So, awesome. Wow. Awesome. I got to check that one out as well. So, all right. So, Conran sent in another part. He goes, what was it like to be in the ring with Okada, and what is something you learned while working in AEW?
Oh, so I mean, again, Okada is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Nearly factually. Everything is opinion and subjective in wrestling, but it's nearly factual that Okada is one of the greatest to ever do it. When I was in there with him, man, I really surprised myself by thinking about how calm I was, and I might credit him for that. That would be, it could be easy for me to say like that just shows how easy and cool I am in those situations, but I think that I credit him for that, and that's as a testament to who he is as a wrestler. And I think because he has that air of calmness about him, which funnily enough is something that I've heard people say, wrestlers say about me when they wrestle me, but like it's almost like Okada took it to another level, that it made me feel relaxed. It made me feel like I can do my very best, and yeah, like it was wild because I think we wrestled, I think the match length in total was 10 minutes. And on TV, 10 minutes for a match is actually relatively long, like on a TV show, not on a pay-per-view, but a TV is a relatively long time. So here I am being given a decent amount of time to wrestle actual Okada for an AEW championship. It was a wild thing to actually be part of. In terms of something I learned, well, I would use that match as an example of, that was the first match I've ever had where there's a commercial break. And being a wrestler in the indies where you just have a match and at most, you'll be given a time of how long you should be going. It being like, okay, we've got some strict time constraints, and you need to hit these times because we're on television, and like we'll cut off if you don't hit these times, was a new experience. And trying to learn, okay, well, how do we structure these matches differently, because we need to have something maybe important or big happening before you go to break. What happens during the break? That's another thing that I'm like, okay, I'm learning about that. And then once we're back from a break, what do we want? Do we want like high action to be like, hey, you're back after watching all these, and if you're in America, you're watching probably multiple adverts about, hey, I'm a lawyer and you need to hire me. I've seen the adverts on American TV. It's crazy. Just always about lawyers. Hey, get health insurance now. But yeah, like, you do need to like grab people's attention as soon as we're back from commercial. So what do you do? So that was something that I'd never experienced before, and it was an interesting learning experience to take with me and kind of be ready for if I do any more TV matches like that.
Pretty cool. That's awesome to like hear about. It's crazy. Let's see what else is in the chat. Shasta, did he beat Caleb Newman? I guess he was like referring off of the CPF.
Oh, running the CPF. I have beat Caleb Newman, actually, to be fair. I've beat him twice, but I didn't beat him this year. So, and I don't know, I mean, it would probably be a harder challenge to do it this year. Like, I think I last wrestled him maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And he is, I mean, goodness me, what a dude. Like, he is shocked the world and taken over the world, which is really cool to see. That's a guy as well that I used to train with when I started my wrestling journey. So to see him from honestly the young kid, still still a kid, by the way, basically, and say that he held the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is unbelievable. Yeah. So it'll be again another guy that'll be cool to see make his return to Rev Pro at Wembley.
Oh, we'll have to see what happens with that. Let's see. We got more. There was a whole bunch of fan tweets. So this one's from My Alter Ego. He goes, which we're going to go back. How special is it to work with Amira, and who would he like to come challenge him after Wembley?
Oh, well, again, yeah, of course it's special to like the benefit. I think on the indies, especially in this day and age, compared to a major company like a WWE and AEW, I feel like they have a lot more free time than they used to back in the day. You'd hear like they do 300 days a year, brother. But I think they've got loads more free time now where they're pretty much, again, they don't do a lot of house shows. So they mainly just go to the TVs. And if at most, they'll be busy 3 times a week, at most. And then they have the time to themselves, go home to family and whatever. I think on the indies, you've really got to be hustling and you've got to be traveling and wrestling wherever and ever. And so indie wrestlers are super, super busy doing it for way less. Sometimes traveling up and down your country or traveling up and down your city or traveling up and down the world. So you can maybe be a bit lonely, or if you're in a relationship, you might not see your loved one like, well, it'll be very sparingly that you see them. So the fact that we are an act together means that we get to travel the world together and do this together, and we get to be in each other's company together. So we actually get more time spent with each other more than if we were different wrestlers, two wrestlers having their own careers, or if one wasn't a wrestler and one was a wrestler, which I know that's a thing that people who are in the industry struggle with. So that's probably the coolest thing about it. The other question was about, well, I guess, who would I want to challenge me? So, well, what I appreciate about that question is he's saying, like, that's kind of like a, hey, after you retain the title kind of a thing.
Yeah.
He believes that I'm retaining the title, that once that happens, who am I, would I like to challenge me? Hey, I could whip out dream names, but there's going to be a gauntlet, right? There's a gauntlet on the show, and the winner gets a title shot. I assume, like a match like that, not everybody who's in it has been announced. And I think some names are going to be withheld. But hey, listen, Isaac Murray, contender. I don't think a contender has ever had a British Heavyweight Championship match whilst they're a contender. So in terms of someone that I want to win that gauntlet, how cool of a moment at Wembley if Isaac Murray, who's been like watching Rev Pro since he was a baby, literally a baby, can now wrestle at Wembley, but then win and become #1 contender for the British Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
You can't make a better story than that. And him wrestling me, one of his heroes, I think that's the easy answer right there. Not Dave Francisco or TK Cooper.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right. I know Shaw's in the chat, but he had sent some stuff in. So he says, I was curious about how he deals with the pressure of being one of, if not the best in the country, and how he felt at different stages of his career from his Rev Pro debut to each title win he's had in Rev Pro. So how he felt after winning the Cruiserweight. He really went in. The tag titles, Mills, the British J Cup, and then 3 undisputed heavyweight title wins. And could you also let him know from my behalf how awesome he is, a true inspiration, a pillar of the British wrestling scene. I'm honored I've been able to see him wrestle in person 3 times, and there were incredible matches, and I'm honored I got to be there for historical 3rd undisputed British heavyweight title win. And well, he made it into the, he made it into the chat, but he says he goes, I'm going to be sad when he leaves for the AEW, but so happy and proud and inspired.
Wow. Is there not a limit on YouTube comments? Oh my God. Look
No,
what
this
we're
was
doing
actually in my DM, just so you know.
Oh, there you go.
This was actually in my DM yesterday. So, so I'm sorry it was a lot in one breath.
There's a lot to decipher and pull out of there.
I want you
hey, it's a really cool message. That's a really cool message, and I appreciate it. There's a funny when he leaves for AEW thing. That's the wishful thinking on some people is great. In terms of dealing with the pressure, it's similar to things to kind of what I said, where as more and more time goes on, you get more and more pressure. You get more and more confidence, but then the stages get bigger, which then adds more pressure. Yeah, it's like, okay, now you're getting more confident because you're getting these big opportunities, but now here comes bigger opportunities because of who you are, and now you're wrestling in front of thousands of people a bit more regularly, and now here's a match, or here's a show in front of 10,000 people. What are you going to do? There's always a new challenge that kind of approaches you when you are in wrestling. Just when you think you can relax and be like, oh, I'm chill, I've got it down. There's something new that comes along where you think, I mean, the Okada match, like before the match happened, I was calm in the moment, but I found out I was wrestling him the day before. So and that feels like no time to get ready, to actually wrestle him. But you learn to kind of thrive in those pressure situations. He talks about my journey in Rev Pro and like each match and each big milestone. Again, it really did help with like winning the Cruiserweight title was like the semi-main event of, I think it might have been a sold out or near sold out York Hall Bethnal Green, but that was like my 4th time wrestling at York Hall. So those experiences helped me be more prepared for a Cruiserweight title match at York Hall, which I'd already had with El Fantasmo, who's the guy I beat for the title. So you keep doing it, and you keep getting used to the steps, the building that you're in, how many steps it takes to walk down the ramp and walk into the ring. And the more you become familiar with the places that you're wrestling in, the easier it becomes in terms of you knowing what you can do, you knowing what needs to be done. And, this third title reign, there's a confidence level that I have that I've never had before. And I think it's all because of those experiences. Like I couldn't have been in this experience. I couldn't have been main eventing a Wembley Arena show if I didn't have all of those trials and tribulations, all of those victories along the way to getting to where we are now.
Wow, look at that. Oh, we got into the feels. We've been getting into the feels all week. All right, let me read some stuff into the chat. God, there's a bunch. Sad says Okada's proof spread doesn't make a match better. It gives his eventual bursts of athleticism more meaning. Shah says, as a man who's had so many incredible matches, how difficult or easy is it to keep producing more? Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah, again, I think, man, there's an infinite number of wrestlers that are out there in the world. So I think then the challenge or the excitement comes from finding new people to wrestle. That's the coolest thing about being here on the UK Indies is no matter how long I've been here, there's always then someone new who is an exciting emerging talent who I've never wrestled, or someone who's a veteran that I've never wrestled. One of the big kind of, like, I guess people that paved the way for a guy like me was Rampage Brown. And I only had, and this is a guy who was signed to WWE years ago before NXT UK was a thing. And he is half black, and he's trying to make his way in the US, but things didn't work out in America. And then he just dominated the UK scene when he came back here, and had done all these things, and has the respect of, honestly, every single wrestler respects this man. And so you want to talk about an inspiration, that's Rampage Brown for me. And we only had our first ever singles match, I want to say it was about a year and a half ago. And he's been doing it for definitely 20 years. And at that point, I've been doing it for like 7 years. And so it's cool that with even veterans, I'm having first time ever matches. So to get in there with people that have been here before me and I can learn from. And then as well, like the young guys, I learn from them too. I learn a lot of stuff from the young guys and see, oh, this guy is exciting, this guy's cool. Let me see what I can do with them. I think that's what keeps me motivated to have those good matches, and keeps me motivated, full stop, about professional wrestling.
Wow, that's fun. Shah says, I ask these questions because I really want to wrestle myself. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go off of that because I do have a lot of fans that are wrestlers that like tune into this podcast too. My friend Sky, shout out to her as well. What's a piece of advice that you would give, like maybe someone wanting to get into wrestling, maybe they just started their training, maybe they're in a little, just a little bit.
Yeah, I would say there is a phrase. So there are some phrases that come from decades ago that may be a bit passé and maybe like, no, that doesn't apply anymore. One of them is kind of, what's the phrase? I think it's ears open, mouth shut. Something like that. I feel like this is the thing that I got told. Yeah. Like keep your ears open and keep your mouth shut. Yeah. So I disagree with that. Definitely keep your ears open, listen and learn. But I say keep that mouth open, as in like don't keep talking over your trainer. Don't like, be a bothersome person to the class, but ask questions. Yeah. Asking questions is the way you'll understand things better. And if you're not sure of something, it's better for you to speak up and ask things and challenge things so you can get a better understanding of it. Because there's so many ways to do professional wrestling that if someone's telling you, do this way, and ask them, like, is there a reason that you feel like we should do this way? And that can make you think, oh, okay, now that makes so much sense. I now understand what that person's saying way more versus just do what you're told. Listen to what you're being told and do it, and that's it. Yeah. So that's my main thing, is in like ask those questions, and then be patient. Be patient, because nothing. This wrestling industry is so weird, because nothing will happen when you want it to. If you're like, oh, this is my goal, I want to be this, I want to do this by this age, well, you should just probably stop wrestling, because it's probably not going to happen that way. Because if you want to, oh, I want to wrestle for at this promotion, I want to be signed at this age, it will either happen way later or way sooner. It never happens exactly when you're looking for it. And I've seen people wanting opportunities, and it comes way sooner than they were asking for. And they're like, whoa, no, I'm not ready. I'm like, yeah, well, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready.
Yeah.
It's time for the deep end.
Yeah.
And versus the people who sometimes they get frustrated because nothing's coming up for them the way, or at least at the time they wanted. But they should see that as a blessing in disguise, because the more time passes, the better of a wrestler you become, the more experienced you become. And it only then makes you more ready for when that opportunity comes your way. And I've seen that happen countless times. So remember to be patient, but at the same time, don't waste time. Don't waste time. Don't be lazy, or don't just like, make sure that, you know, you're doing everything you can to get to where you want to be. But patience is such a virtue when it comes to professional wrestling, because anything can happen at any time.
That's great advice. Let me pop back into the chat. Sad says, Michael is a great wrestler. I don't want him in AEW. I want to still be able to see him wrestle up close and for cheap.
For cheap. That's so funny. That's so funny.
You guys are funny. Okay, so let's move on to the other fan tweets. So shout out Good Cop, Bad Cop said, with Michael Oku being an anagram of a coma like, who did you beat the most convincingly in the ring, such as the end of the match they were like coma like?
Yeah. I think okay. There's a chance you might have to
He messes with everybody on this podcast, so you know.
I don't even know what did he say?
So pretty
I
much
honestly don't know.
He wants to know who did you beat up that the most during a match, pretty much, that they're pretty much laid out, that can't get up after the match, pretty much.
And he discovered that the anagram for my name is coma. Okay.
It's coma like.
Okay. Well, hey, that's cool. Who have I beaten up that I'm like, oh man, that was a bit unfair. Man, I think recently I was thinking about when I wrestled Xander Bryant, which was in Southampton, and it's this move that I have, this new finish that I have called Final Destination, which is a tribute to Super Dragon and his Psycho Driver 2. Again, I love the guy, and I'm grateful for the opportunity he gave me with PWG. It's one of the moves where I don't know if there is a good way to take it, and you are just falling on your head, and that's just it, and too bad. Xander is someone who I've literally known him since he was like 14 years old. So that was one where when I'm hitting with this move, I was like, oh God, I just remembered the 14-year-old kid that I first met in wrestling training. I'm like, maybe I should have done that to Xander. Maybe I should have saved that for someone else that I hated and not dropped on his head. Oops.
I'm done. That's good. All right, let's see. Another fan tweet we got here. This one's from Bobby. He says, would you ever want to go against Andrade for the AEW National Championship?
Hey. Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yeah. The short answer is yeah. But like again, that's a title that we've seen be defended in Rev Pro. It's one of those traveling titles that AEW likes to have, which is the cool thing that about AEW, that it's like, hey, you know, go ahead and do indie bookings, and you know what, defend the title on AEW shows.
Yeah.
It would be cool to. I don't think an AEW title has changed hands on an indie show. it would be cool if I was the first person to win an AEW title on an indie show. How about that?
That's crazy, like what we've been seeing. I mean, even like Bandito coming over to like Rev Pro, we've been seeing like a lot of that. Like, ooh, it would be pretty awesome to see something different. You never know what could happen. So we're gonna ask the question because I've been having fun with this question with everybody on this podcast. So shout out to the fan who sent it in. You have an unlimited budget. What do you want your entrance to be like?
Oh God. Okay. Well, the most important thing first would be it would be a live performance of my entrance theme. Mm-hmm. So there are 3 artists that are part of my entrance theme. Like Tristan McIntosh, she's amazing. I think she was on American Idol, mm-hmm. And she's just got an incredible voice. She'd be there. Mikey Ruckus, who composed the entire song, but also provides his voice. There's a guy called Doe the Paperboy, who like raps as well. So there's 2 people rapping, lovely lady singing. I'd have them all there first of all. Mm-hmm. I think when I raise my hands in the air for the Now We Play and go down, it does remind people a lot of Kane. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I would want some kind of pyro to shoot out of all 4 corner posts mm-hmm. as I raise my arms and go down. So definitely, I think it would definitely be like going like something shooting up, but at the same time, something shooting up. I want things to be like raining down, like the I've heard people call this pyro the golden shower.
Okay, yeah.
where it comes down, all in the ring, all in the ring. One of my favorite pyros that I saw in like mid-90s WWF was like when freaking like Sid's pyro would come down. It would just say Sid.
Yeah.
So if I could get that coming down and then it just says Now We Play or NWP or something like mm-hmm, that, mm-hmm. whilst all the shooting up fire and going down, then I think that would be what I would have as an entrance. I'm trying to think of it. I've got unlimited budget, so I can use more. Well, the singing's happening. I've got to use the budget.
Yeah,
the singing's happening. Give me the Codivator. Mm-hmm. Give me that Codivator while we're at it. Yeah. Give me the Codivator. But like, I'm not just standing. It's like thrones. I'm coming out of the Codivator, and it's myself and Amira. We're on our own thrones, and then we're just sitting down, like, oh yeah, this is it. We're king and queen. And there we go. And I'd give me that Trick Williams, that Mania. He had like the longest coat ever, or whatever it was, where it was just the longest ever. So add that too. So we're getting live performance, Codivator, 2 thrones, longest like dragging dress for myself and Amira as we get into the ring.
There you go.
Pyro coming out of the corner post, golden shower with my name. I think that's enough.
And then Amira is gonna have the dress of her dreams, pretty much.
Oh my goodness, to say the least. She does it anyway, but
I know, but it's gonna be like the one that like that's gonna be completely outed. It's gonna be just all rhinestones. That's it. Like
yes, that's it. Fully rhinestoned up.
Swarovski rhinestones. The entire outfit. They're chef kiss.
Oh, I've heard about those rhinestones. They go in rings as well.
Yeah, they're beautiful. So we're adding them to the budget.
They're expensive too.
Yeah, so unlimited budget. So Swarovski.
True.
There you go. Oh my goodness. So if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to drop into the chat. So I think I saw somebody wrote are you going to be doing a meet and greet at the show, at the Wembley show? So
this is a question I have been asking to know what the situation is. I warned the people who are going to Wembley that there will be Rev Pro merch, but there might not be merch from the wrestlers because Wembley, the building takes a huge percentage cut where if we were going to sell it at the regular price, we, the wrestlers, would be getting next to nothing. But if we put it up to make it so that like we can make some kind of money, it would then be like £50 for a t-shirt, which is just unfair for the fans. So I have been trying to also do my diligence to see like, right, let's try and make sure that we can maybe sell it at shows that we're on before and after the show. There is a venue that I have heard about that might be available, and I'm trying to put some work in. I'm not even the promoter, but I'm thinking about everybody. There's a venue that's near Wembley Arena that I think we might be able to get access to, and depending on how people's times are working, I think we might be able to just have a quick little pop-up shop where you could be like, hey, you want some t-shirts, you want a photo, we can do it right here, and then the show happens in a few hours. So
There you go.
we're working on it. We'll try and see. But if not, I can only, maybe we'll just jump into the crowd. If you want to meet people, just ask them and they'll just jump over the barricade and get the selfie.
Have you figured out like a teleport machine so I can come to this? Like, seriously.
What do you mean? It's called planes. What are you talking about? A teleport machine?
I'm trying to avoid the money. I don't have it.
Right.
So I'm trying to teleport
fine.
over. Like, can I like jump through the podcast computer? Like, and like.
Listen, it'd be great if you could. It'd be great. Have you ever been to the UK?
No, so that's the thing. I'm hoping next year. I want to save up that. My big thing was there was the SCI tournament this year, so I was saving for that whole thing. So now, since that's done, my big save now is for UK next year. And I was talking about it with my friend Diana because she's going to the Attack Wrestling in September. So I told her, I said, let's plan something for next year because I want to do a complete roundabout because there's so many UK promotions that I want to come and support. So obviously Rev Pro is like my number one right now. So I gotta come see you guys.
Well, that's why this kind of week is cool. This is where this all-in week is cool because so many promotions are descending and trying to run a show around it.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a progress on the Monday. There's so many promotions. I think the coolest thing is that there's mystery wrestling. That's happening, which is not a British promotion. And I think that's a good sign of like how big people are trying to make this weekend. That like, oh, here's a Canadian promotion that is coming to the UK. And they're running two shows. They're running a show in Scotland on Thursday. And then they're running a show, I think it's the day of the Rev Pro anniversary show on Saturday. That's a great sign that, and I think their tickets are like next to sold out or close to sold out. So it's an amazing thing to do. So if you're trying to fit them all in one, it makes probably the most sense for you to come to next year's anniversary show. Assuming again that I assume AEW will do something in the UK next year. Come along that
I
week
definitely
and-
have to come. That's definitely like my plan, so I can come see all you guys. And again, there's so many amazing promotions that like I've been supporting and watching. So that's on the list for me. Don't worry. But I got the subscriptions. I'll watch you guys. I'll be on my couch with my popcorn and stuff and watch you guys for the anniversary show. Don't worry, I got you. I'll be live tweeting as well, so I'll be posting the clips and do what I do. So I have one final question for you. If anybody has anything, feel free, drop it into the chat. But hashtag wrestling positivity is very dear to my heart since we live in the world of negativity and wrestling, and I like to focus on the positives. So is there anything that you could think of, like maybe you've done for a wrestler, maybe a wrestler's done for you, maybe a fan's done for you, maybe something you've done for a fan, anything that we wouldn't know unless you shared this story?
My goodness. There are a lot of,
Yeah.
and I think that's probably the good thing, is that there are really a lot of positive things that have meant a lot to me in kind of like my wrestling career. At the very first thing I could remember was when I was kind of like very much a nobody, and Will Ospreay came down to my training school because he just needed to film stuff for his own thing. And there was a bunch of us who he needed to just be bodies, trainee bodies in a thing he was filming. And he was like, come on guys, all right, let's go to Nando's. We might as well just like hang out a little bit longer. Like, now we've done that. And I fully expected, I had my money ready to buy Nando's and he just paid for all our Nando's. And I was like, I couldn't even fathom that somebody would do such a thing that doesn't even know us that well. You know, you do it for a friend or whatever. He didn't know us that well. And I said, thank you. And he just said to me, just nonchalantly just said, it's all right, pay it forward. And that was like, okay, that's the rule. That's the rule in wrestling. If you can be generous to someone and help someone out, and don't do it expecting something in return, do it because you're in a position where you're able to. And it's been cool that I've been able to, like a few times, help people however I can, whether it is, hey, you want some entrance music, I can help chip in and fund that for you. Or you want this, I can help you as well. I remember like even like fans giving me Christmas cards. I was like, that's really nice. That's really cool, and the thing I didn't expect to have happen. But them doing that is great. Yeah, for some reason that's what sticks out in my head the most. I just
No, that's
remember that I got
beautiful.
like a Christmas card from a fan. I was like, that's really nice, and that's
Aw.
awesome. So yeah, you talk about wrestling positivity. Talk about how it's very easy to find negativity
Yeah.
or just accidentally fall upon it.
Yeah.
It's a great reminder that if you like away from it, if you actually look, people have been very kind.
Yeah.
There was a time again, like last year, I talk about Vegas and how busy I was and how many shows I had. And there was some fans that were from the UK, but they were also in Vegas. Got me like a little. They came up to me and gave me. It was actually a little care package, which was just like some snacks, just some snacks like apples, and there's like some
Aw.
food in there, some water. And we're going from venue to venue to venue. There's no time to like get full meals, and that meant a lot of like, hey, that this is so helpful. It really is, and it's the thought that counts more than anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that you thought, you know what, this wrestler that we're watching might need this and might appreciate this means a lot. So those are the few things that
Look
are in
at
my head.
that. See, those are always the things that are just like always in my feels. And I love it, and I love the stories that we get from everybody because I've witnessed it. Yeah, and also, and I'll tell you a story off air, which I'm not going to bring onto the podcast. There's a reason for it, but anyway, and that's the reason for my wrestling with positivity thing. So, but yeah, so I have the flyer here. We're gearing up next week. You and Connor Mills. So we talked to Andy. We broke down again this amazing card. We talked about like tickets still being on sale. You guys can watch it on Rev Pro on demand if you're like me here in New York. So that's so awesome. Is there anything else like you want to promote for like upcoming shows besides the big show?
It's wild, but I'm all fully focused on this show. It was cool to like last week. I made like a little surprise appearance at WXW. They were streaming live on my AEW for the first time, so it was cool to be in a number 2 in a Rumble, a number 2 surprise in a Rumble, which
Yeah.
me being a huge fan of Chris Jericho and someone who I've taken so much influence from, I'll never forget a time that he returned to WWE and he was number 2 in a Rumble, and it was such a cool moment because you never think that returns happen that early in. And so for me to be that person last week was cool. So what I will say is, there are still more shows that are happening and there's nothing I'm announced in, but surprises are surprises. If I say that there's going to be a surprise, it's not really a surprise.
Yeah.
Let's just say that Wembley might not be the only time that you guys see me wrestle.
Oh, look at that. Well, tell everybody where they could follow you if they're not following you, because I know, like I said, I'm going to slide all the names that didn't know you.
Yeah. I mean, at the OJMO on pretty much every social media platform, even Blue Sky. There'll come a point where I actually do like tweet on Blue, or like tweet. Maybe
Yeah.
it is tweet because that word's not allowed on Twitter, so on X. So yeah, Blue Sky would be the one at some point. But at the OJMO, Michael Oku, if you just search me up, I should come up. MichaelOku.com. Still got like a few bits of merchandise here and there if you want to pick something up. I think if you order something now, it will be there in time for Wembley. If you're coming to a show and want to wear something of mine, that'll be your one-stop shop to do so. And I mean, I guess in a way, revolutionprowrestling.com.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm on pretty much most shows,
Yeah.
I might as well just tell you to go to that website, buy tickets to those shows, and you'll probably see me wrestle or train with me, because you can use that website to book train sessions with me as well. So yeah, those are all the places you can see me. Appreciate all the support, appreciate the passion, and yeah, that's me.
I love that. All those links are in the description below for you guys, just in case. I got you. Is there anything else you want to tell the fans that we didn't cover today?
No, that's it. I again, the passionate fans. The fact there were so many questions, and that you got so many questions, I think it's a testament more to you and what you've been building.
Thank
That
you.
there's people that are engaging with you.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. I I love interviews with this where you get the gamut of questions.
Yeah.
They can go really in depth. They can be real emotional, or they can be little bits of information about hot dogs and what you like on your hot dogs. That's my kind of interview.
questions. These are the
Those are the real
hard-hitting questions. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
that's the make and break. That's the make or break stuff.
Always. Oh, wait, one more question because of the fact that I know, and again, like I said, Good Cup, Bad Cup, and Kai, and again, like some of these people I know that they're not in my chat right now because they're working and stuff, and then I'm gonna get yelled at. So I have to ask the cereal question on this podcast since we're talking food, and it's a staple on this podcast. Do you put your cereal in first and then your milk, or do you put your milk in first and then your cereal?
Wow. Oh God. No, okay. No, I put the cereal in first. Do you know why? So I put the cereal in first because you don't want to put too much milk in and then you put the cereal in and you realize, I've not put enough cereal in, or I've put too much milk in, because then it's going to raise the milk up. So I put the cereal in, I'm like, this is how much cereal I want to eat. And then I find the nominal amount of cereal per the ratio of cereal to milk. So unless people do it the other way, where they're like, no, I really want to drink milk. The cereal's just here for the ride. Therefore, I'm just going to pour the milk in, and this is how much milk I want to drink. And I like crunchy milk, so I'm going to put some bits in there. So really, I think there really is only one real answer, unless you're a psychopath.
You'd be surprised on this. That's why it's a staple on this podcast, because you'd be surprised. We've had some crazy answers. We had water instead of milk. So, I don't know. I'm gonna send you the names too, so you can do some Final Destinations on them too, because I think
that'll be fine.
they totally deserve that pretty much. So.
Yeah.
I can't stop. But thank you so much for coming on. You're always welcome to come on here. I appreciate that you came and chatted, and all the fan questions as well. So again, I'm flashing the poster on the stream. Make sure you check this. I'm so excited. I can't wait to watch this. I wish I was there. So again, if anybody figures out that teleport machine, let me know so I can come and hang out. So next week, I'm back with Leighton Buzzard, which he's going to rip my head off. Anything you want me to ask him for you?
Oh, my God. Why does he pronounce Will Ospreay's surname the way he does?
Oh, okay. So you guys
how about that for a
tuned.
specific question?
You guys stay tuned for that as well. So thank you guys again. So you know the drill. Stay safe, support independent wrestling, and I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a good night.
Feeling miserable.